I also believe that it's fairly evident that the division that does exist between believers, division that is manifested through taking offense, is evidently founded upon, a feeling of superiority. That's the third thing, which is pride. Remember I said that pride comes into all of this.
Always.
You wouldn't take offense. Think of any time you've been offended recently or taken offense. It's not a matter of what people say, it's a matter of how you receive, okay? Somewhere in the back of your head was your brain not saying, how dare they say that to me?
Who do they think they are?
Who do they think they are? Don't they know who I am? I mean, it's pride that pricks that flesh and says, jump up and start hollering. That's our fallen human nature. And the same thing, it comes from a feeling of superiority. Who are you to tell me that? Mm-hmm. Think of these verses. Remember, this is a Bible study. So again, the less I can give you my ideas or opinions, and the more I can give the Word, the better off we all are. Paul wrote to the church in Rome and said, "For through the grace given to me, I say to everyone among you, not to think more highly of himself than he ought to think, but to think so as to have sound judgment, as God has allotted to each a measure of faith." Okay? Don't think more highly of yourself than you ought to. It's not as much instruction as it is a warning that comes from the Spirit of God through the Apostle Paul. And in James, think about this whole thing with superiority. James said, "My brethren, do not hold your faith in our glorious Lord Jesus Christ with an attitude of personal favoritism." It's not, you didn't get anything that you deserved. You really didn't. It's not because you deserved it that you have whatever you have in the Spirit of God. People say to me, in all of our travels, people constantly come up to me and say, how are you doing? And I'll say, better than I ought to. How's God? It's like, because God is constantly giving me what I don't deserve.
Exactly.
His grace. If you got what you deserve, I promise.
That's a terrible
You
thing.
should start every day by getting up and thanking God that you're not getting what you deserve. Really.
Yeah.
It is the grace of God that gives us, gives us what Jesus deserved. Because he was the faithful one, right? So, he went on to say, if a man comes into your assembly, by the way, that's assembly, that's ecclesia, that's church. That's the real church in the Bible. Comes into your assembly with a gold ring and dressed in fine clothes. And there also comes in a poor man in dirty clothes, and you pay special attention to the one who's wearing the fine clothes. And say, here, you sit in a good place. And you say to the poor man, you stand over there or sit down by my footstool. Have you not made distinctions among yourselves and become judges with evil motives? James 2, verses 1 through 4. Now, generally speaking, you correct me if you disagree. Well, you tell me if you disagree. Write to me at office@bibletalk.com. Generally speaking, it is the fallen human nature of mankind to judge every other person by what I call this great theological term, the standard of me.
Yes, that's true.
Well, it's true.
That is true.
I mean, think about this. This is what it is. Every person shorter than me is too short. Every person taller than me is too tall. Every person who doesn't have as much wealth, possessions, is not as good as me, or as holy, or as righteous, or as faithful as me. Fill in the blank. Put whatever you want in there. That's how we tend to judge everything by ourselves. When we become the standard of measure, we become the problem.
That's right.
Right? Can you see that? And this is our fallen human nature, and it is exactly what Christ saved us from, that fallen human nature. When we were accepted his lordship, his atoning work, everything in our life, and got new life.